Welcome everyone to another edition of In the Know. Someone who is hating on your hustle typically starts like this. Let's say you have a career or a business or a particular venture you're involved in, and you are really passionate about it. But for some odd reason, when you're engaging someone, they don't necessarily share the same level of excitement as you. Or even worse, they kind of dismiss what you do as something that's not necessarily that important. And the worst part about it is that most people who do it typically dismiss you passive aggressively. This is not new to you. You've experienced this before because imagine when you are talking to someone and they ask you what you do or what it is you're accomplishing or what type of environment that you're working in as a company owner or something to that like. And then when you tell them, they kind of give you this very unenergetic response. Now, in the best case scenarios, they are passively dismissive. Or in the worst case scenarios, they effectively tell you that they're not really moved by what you do. Think about it. How many of you have engaged with someone or talked to someone and they ask you, what you did, and all of a sudden the energy in the room kind of drops from them? Or they ask you where you stay or what kind of car you own, or for whatever reason, as if they're looking at your assets and they're looking at it where you are in terms of your current situation as a reflection of your possibilities, as opposed to looking at you from the standpoint of what you're trying to do going forward. What they do is they look at you as if what you're doing now is beneath them. And it makes it even worse because they're not asking about you. They're not asking about your goals. They're not asking about your dreams. They're effectively looking at what you're doing right now, and they have already decided that whatever it is that you're doing, it is a reflection of who you are right now. So when they ask you what kind of car you're driving and you tell them it's something like a Chevrolet, they kind of roll their eyes. Or if you're living in an apartment, or maybe you're taking care of your parents and you're living at home with your parents, they make the assumption that you're not in a position to do anything more than what you're doing at the time they're speaking to you. And this can really put you in a headspace. You can really feel a certain way when you feel that someone or somebody is being dismissive of your capabilities. Or more importantly, they're dismissive of what you're trying to do right now in terms of your hustle. And it doesn't matter if your hustle is that of a bus driver or a janitor, or if your hustle is that of a business owner, teacher, doctor, or lawyer. You are going to run across those people who are just not going to be moved by your hustle. And by being not moved, they're going to start to make you feel like you are substandard or not of the standard that you know you're capable of. And even worse, it may make you feel like you are failing in your endeavors. Well, if you find yourself in a position where you are trying to figure out the best way to deal with people like this, here are 3 simple rules that you should keep in mind. Rule number 1, you should not care if they don't care. See, stop putting so much stock into wanting someone to care about what you do. The important thing is that you care about what you do. The fact that they are dismissive of what it is you're trying to accomplish, and you know in your mind that there are so many things that you're trying to achieve, should be reinforced by the fact that if they do not care enough to even investigate or even ask what it is you're trying to accomplish, you should not care about their opinion to begin with. Because if they are just narrow-minded enough just to only focus on what you're doing on the face of what you're doing, but not trying to even dig a little deeper into what you're trying to accomplish, then you should not care about their opinion. So if they do not care, you should not care about their opinion regardless. Rule number 2, it is not your job to educate them about what you do if they do not know what you do. You are going to find that there are going to be people who have not taken it upon themselves to try or even make the effort to try to educate themselves about what you are trying to accomplish. So they will take the things on the face of what you say you do. So if you tell them that you are a bus driver, but they have no idea that you're trying to work up the food chain of the company in order to become management level or become a dispatcher or work in the upper hierarchies within a government agency, then if they hear you say that you're just a bus driver, that's what they're pretty much just going to hear, is that you are just a bus driver, even though you are much more than that. But see, you know that there is so much more that you're trying to achieve. If that person truly wanted to know what you were trying to achieve, they would inquire and they would actively ask you more information and get more detailed information into what it is you're trying to achieve so that they can get a better appreciation of what you're trying to accomplish and what you are truly about. But let's just keep it 100, people. Most people are lazy. They just tastefully take what you've told them and then they fill in the blanks for themselves. And unfortunately, if it does not, or if they do not fill in the blanks in a manner that works in a favor that is most favorable to you, they're just going to get a fraction of what you're trying to accomplish. But so many times when we are dealing with people and we can tell that they are viewing us in a particular light, just based on the limited information they ask, we feel that we have to fill in the blanks and educate them to the greatest magnitude. And that is not the truth. You have the responsibility to give as much information as possible. If you want to keep it simple, you can do so. If you want to give a little bit more detail, you can do so as well. But do not ever let anyone and anyone's response make you feel as if you have to educate them so they can see you in a different light. If they do not have the wherewithal to open their mouth to ask you about what you are trying to do, you are under no obligation to educate them about what you're trying to do. Rule number 3, let them go if they don't want to get with you. The hardest thing to do is to release someone from your presence when you think in your mind that it would be beneficial if they remain in your presence. But I challenge you to look at this from a different perspective. If the person was really, truly destined to be in your circle or in your presence or a part of what you're trying to do, then there is this energy and enthusiasm and inquisitive nature that they're going to display because they want to become affiliated with your world. If they are giving you a passive aggressive dismissal type of attitude, they're telling you everything you need to know that they have no interest in getting with you or getting with what you're trying to do. So you need to recognize that your time and your energy is just as valuable. So the moment they start displaying that negative energy, you need to let them go as quickly as possible. Because you are wasting valuable time, your valuable time, trying to convince them why they should be associated with you. So it's not your job to convince them. It's not your job to make them care. It's not your job to make them inform. If you have engaged them and they choose not to engage you in a manner where they want to get with whatever it is you are trying to do or be associated with you on your journey, it's okay to let them go. Remember, the only person who cares about what you are trying to do and your hustle is you. The only person that is staying informed about what you're trying to do is you. The only person that's committed to getting with your dreams is you. You are the only person that has to be committed to those 3 things, and everybody else is just looking for an opportunity to associate with you. And you should treat the fact that they want to be associated with you as a gift to you that you can choose to accept or turn down. But do not fall into the trap of believing that when you're dealing with those people who you want to be a part of your life, that if they are not giving you the same energy, that you should bend over backwards to give them to a point where you want them to be with you. And always remember that you should always care that you care about what you're trying to do. And you shouldn't care if others do not. It's not your job to educate them. It's not your job to be passionate about this for them. And it's okay to let them go if they can't get what you're trying to do. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. This has been another episode of In the Know. Thank you for our listening audience for tuning in. And as always, you can listen to us on all of the popular listening devices, whether it be Google Podcasts, Pandora, Spotify. You can always find me on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook at My Name is Reeves. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and make sure you stay in the know.